Then Al Pacino walked in. Pacino, 84, scarf loose and sunglasses perched on his nose, slipped through the crowd, unnoticed at first. He just wanted a meatball sub, a quiet lunch. But when he reached the counter, a cocky cashier smirked. Name for the order. What, you Al Pacino or something? De Niro's head snapped up. His eyes locked on Pacino, his old friend, occasional rival. The tabloids loved pitting them against each other, and today, De Niro wasn't in the mood. Al, what the hell? He barked, voice cutting through the din. You show up, no call, distracted my staff? We're slammed. The deli froze. Customers gawked. Pacino, calm but steely, leaned in. Bobby, I'm here for a sandwich. Why you making this a thing? A thing. De Niro slammed the knife down. You waltz in like you own the place, slow my line. Get out of here, I'll go eat somewhere else. Gasps. Phones came out, recording. Pacino's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed low. You're wrong, Bobby. This ain't about me. You're taking it out on everyone. He turned, scarf trailing, and walked out. The bell jingled. X exploded. De Niro boots Pacino. Shocking deli drama. Outside, Pacino lit a cigarette, the autumn wind sharp against his face. He wasn't mad, just tired. He and De Niro went back decades, their bond forged in The Godfather Part 2, strained by years of rivalry. This wasn't about a sandwich. It was about Bobby's pride, his deli, his need to control a world slipping through his fingers. Inside, De Niro barked orders, but the staff moved slower, whispering. The cashier, Joey, muttered, Man, he didn't have to do Al like that. A waitress, Maria, 60, who'd worked there 15 years, shot Joey a look. Bobby stressed. Business ain't what it used to be. A customer, a gray-haired man in a Mets cap, leaned over. That was Pacino, right? Why's De Niro acting like a jerk? Maria sighed, wiping the counter. He's not. He's just. Bobby loves this place too much. But the mood was sour. Customers left half-eaten sandwiches, muttering about bad vibes. De Niro felt it, his chest tight. He'd snapped at Al, his friend, in front of everyone. And for what? A crowded line? That evening, Pacino sat in his Manhattan apartment, the city's glow filtering through the window. His phone buzzed, texts from friends, X notifications tagging him in clips of the incident. He ignored them, sipping espresso, replaying the moment. Bobby's anger wasn't new, but it stung. The deli was his kingdom, and Pacino's presence, however innocent, had felt like an invasion. He could have let it go. Most would. But Pacino wasn't most people. He'd faced worse, paparazzi, critics, personal demons, and come out swinging, not with fists, but with words, heart. He decided to go back. Not to fight, but to talk. To understand. The next morning, De Niro's deli was quieter. The rush hadn't started, and the staff prepped in silence. De Niro was in the back, chopping onions, the rhythmic thwack of the knife his only outlet. Maria approached cautiously. Bobby, you okay? Yesterday was intense. He didn't look up. Yeah, well, I'll shouldn't be coming like that. He's your friend, she said softly. Maybe he didn't mean no harm. De Niro's hand stilled. Before he could answer, the bell jingled. Pacino stood in the doorway, alone, no sunglasses, just a worn jacket and a tired expression. The staff froze. Maria whispered, Oh, Lord. Al, De Niro said, stepping forward, voice gruff but wary. What now? Pacino raised a hand, calm. No fight, Bobby. Just talk. You and me. The air was thick. Customers trickled in, sensing the weight of the moment. De Niro hesitated, then nodded. Fine. Back room. In the cramped office, surrounded by crates of canned tomatoes and old movie posters, the two men faced each other. The hum of the deli faded, leaving only the creak of the floor and the faint smell of oregano. Bobby, what's eating you? Pacino asked, voice low, searching. Yesterday wasn't about me. I know you. This place, it's your heart, but you're tearing it apart. De Niro's face tightened. You don't get it, Al, this deli's all I got left. Movies? They come and go. But this? This is mine. And it's falling apart, costs up, staff quit in. People saying we're washed up. So you take out on me? On them. Pacino gestured toward the front. Maria's out there, 60 years old, working doubles to pay her rent. Joey's a kid, trying to learn. They're not the enemy. De Niro looked away, his hands clenched. I didn't mean to. Every day's a fight to keep this place alive. Pacino leaned forward. Then stop fighting alone. You built this with people, Maria, the regulars, even me. You don't gotta be the tough guy all the time. Let us in. The words hung there. De Niro's eyes, usually so guarded, softened. He thought of Maria's loyalty, the regulars who'd been coming since the 90s, the staff who stayed despite his temper. And Al, who came back not to gloat, but to talk. I messed up, De Niro said finally, voice rough. With you. With them. Pacino nodded. We all mess up. Question is, what you do next? They walked back to the front. The deli was filling up, the lunch crowd unaware of the conversation that had just shifted something fundamental. De Niro cleared his throat, loud enough to get attention. The staff and a few customers turned. I owe you all an apology, he said, his voice carrying the weight of a man unused to admitting fault. Yesterday was a bad day. I took it out on my friend Al, on you. That ain't right. This place, he gestured around, it's not just mine. It's ours. And I'm gonna do better. Maria's eyes glistened. Joey nodded, surprised. The customers, some regulars, clapped softly. Pacino stood by, silent, a faint smile on his lips. De Niro turned to Maria. You need a raise. And a day off. We'll figure it out. To Joey, you're doing good, kid. Keep at it. The room felt lighter. The clatter of plates resumed, but the air was different, warmer, like the deli of old. Pacino ordered his meatball sub, and this time, De Niro made it himself, sliding it across the counter with a gruff, on the house. Word spread. Ex-post shifted from scandal to praise. De Niro and Pacino make peace. Deli drama ends in heartfelt apology. Regulars returned, drawn by the story, the food, the sense of community reborn. Maria got a raise. Joey started training to manage shifts. De Niro, still gruff, began listening, really listening, to his staff, his customers, his friend. The deli wasn't fixed overnight. Costs were still high, competition fierce. But something had changed. De Niro's apology, Pacino's return, they'd reminded everyone what the place stood for. It wasn't just about sandwiches. It was about people, flawed and trying, coming together. One afternoon, as the sun set over Mulberry Street, Pacino sat at a corner table, biting into a sub. De Niro joined him, coffee in hand. They didn't say much, just sat, two old friends, the weight of yesterday lifting. You think we're too old for this? Pacino asked, half smiling. De Niro chuckled. Nah, we're just getting started. The bell jingled as a new customer walked in, and the deli hummed with life, imperfect but hopeful, a small step toward something better. The days following the confrontation at De Niro's deli felt like a fragile truce. Mulberry Street hummed with its usual rhythm, delivery trucks rattling over cobblestones, tourists snapping photos, the faint wail of a distant siren. But inside the deli, the air was charged with something new. Robert De Niro's public apology had shifted the mood, but it hadn't erased the cracks. The staff, the customers, even De Niro himself were waiting to see what came next. Could a place so steeped in pride and struggle really change? It was a chilly November morning, the kind where breath hung in the air and the smell of roasting chestnuts drifted from street vendors. The deli was quieter than usual, the breakfast crowd thinning out. Maria, the veteran waitress, polished the counter with slow, deliberate strokes, her hands weathered from years of work. Joey, the young cashier, restocked napkins, stealing glances at De Niro, who was in the back, scribbling numbers on a notepad. The deli's books were a mess, supply costs up 20%, rent creeping higher, and a new chain sandwich shop opening 2 blocks away. De Niro's jaw was set, his eyes tired. He'd meant every word of his apology, but good intentions didn't pay the bills. The bell jingled, and Al Pacino walked in. No scarf today, just a wool coat and a knit cap pulled low. He nodded at Maria, who gave him a warm smile. "Back for more trouble, Al?" "Only if Bobby's making the meatballs," Pacino quipped, easing into a booth. He'd been coming in daily since the incident, not to gloat or meddle, but to show he wasn't walking away. Their friendship, battered but enduring, was a quiet anchor in the storm. De Niro emerged, wiping his hands on his apron. "You again? Don't you got a life?" His tone was gruff, but a flicker of warmth betrayed him. Pacino grinned. "What, and miss your sunny disposition?" "Sit down, Bobby. We gotta talk." De Niro hesitated, then slid into the booth, coffee mug in hand. The deli was slow enough for a moment's pause, but the weight of the past weeks hung between them. "Talk about what?" "I said my piece. We're good." "We're not good," Pacino said, his voice low, steady. "You're holding this place together with duct tape and a prayer. I see it. Maria sees it. You think that apology fixed everything? It's a start, but you're still acting like it's you against the world." De Niro's fingers tightened around the mug. "What do you know about running a business, Al? You show up, eat for free, and leave. I'm the one dealing with suppliers, taxes, kids quitting every week." Pacino leaned forward, eyes sharp. "I know you're drowning, and I know you're too damn stubborn to ask for help. This ain't Raging Bull. You don't gotta fight alone." The word stung. De Niro opened his mouth to argue, but stopped. Pacino was right. The deli was his life, but it was slipping through his fingers. He thought of Maria, working doubles at 60, her knees aching. Joey eager, but untrained, fumbling orders. The regulars loyal but dwindling, chased off by long waits and inconsistent food. And then there was the new shop, Substop, with its sleek branding and half-price specials. De Niro's pride had kept him going, but pride wasn't enough. "All right," he said finally, voice rough. "What's your big idea, genius?" Pacino smiled, a spark of mischief in his eyes. "We rebuild. Not the walls, the people. Start with Maria. She's the heart of this place. Give her a real role, not just serving tables. And Joey? Kid's got potential, but he needs training, not yelling. Then we talk to the regulars, get 'em back. Make this a community again, not just your castle." De Niro snorted. "You sound like a damn motivational speaker." "Maybe," Pacino said unfazed. "But I'm here, ain't I? And I'm not the only one who cares." That afternoon, De Niro called a staff meeting, the first in years. The deli closed early, the closed for private event sign drawing curious glances from passersby. The staff gathered in the dining area, a mix of veterans and new hires, their faces a blend of skepticism and exhaustion. Maria sat up front, arms crossed, her usual warmth tempered by caution. Joey fidgeted, unsure why he was there. A cook, Carlos, leaned against the wall, his apron streaked with sauce. De Niro stood, hands in his pockets, feeling oddly exposed without the counter between him and the world. Pacino sat nearby, a quiet presence, letting Bobby take the lead. "I ain't good at this," De Niro started, his voice gruff. "Speeches, feelings, all that. But I meant what I said last week. I screwed up. Not just with Al, but with you. This place," he gestured to the worn booths, the faded photos. "It's supposed to be a home, not a war zone. I've been running it like it's mine alone, but it's not. It's yours too." Maria's eyes softened, but she stayed silent. Joey blinked, surprised. Carlos shifted, intrigued. "I'm a skin for your help," De Niro continued, the words unfamiliar but sincere. "Tell me what's broke. Tell me what we gotta do. And Maria," he turned to her, "you been here longer than most. I want you running the front, training the new kids. No more doubles unless you want M. And a raise starting next week. Maria's mouth parted, stunned. Bobby, are you sure? Damn sure, he said, a faint smile breaking through. Joey, you're with her. Learn the ropes. Carlos, you got ideas for the menu? I'm listening. The room buzzed with murmurs. Maria nodded, a spark of pride in her eyes. Joey grinned, nervous but eager. Carlos raised a hand. Boss, we could bring back the old lasagna. Regulars loved it, but it's too pricey to prep. De Niro nodded. We'll figure out the cost. What else? A server, Tina, spoke up, hesitant. The schedule's a mess. We're short-staffed, and it's killing us. Customers wait too long, then we get the blame. De Niro scribbled on a napkin. Hiring more, and we'll fix the schedule. Keep going. For the next hour, the staff opened up, airing grievances and ideas. The espresso machine needed replacing. The bread supplier was overcharging. The regulars wanted live music again, like in the 90s. De Niro listened, Pacino occasionally chiming in with a quip or suggestion. The mood shifted from tense to hopeful, a team forming where a hierarchy once stood. The changes started small but felt big. Maria took charge of the front, her warmth drawing smiles from customers. She trained Joey, teaching him to read the room, to charm without overstepping. De Niro met with suppliers, negotiating better deals. Carlos revived the lasagna, its rich aroma filling the deli, pulling in old-timers who hadn't been back in years. Pacino, true to his word, became a fixture, not just eating, but talking to regulars, listening to their stories, reminding them why they loved the place. But not everyone was on board. The new chain, Substop, was relentless, blasting ads on local radio and X, offering deals De Niro couldn't match. One afternoon, a slick manager from Substop, Greg, strolled into the deli, all smiles and polished shoes. Heard you had some drama, he said, eyeing De Niro. Tough business, huh? If you ever want to sell, we're interested. De Niro's face darkened. Get out of my shop. Greg smirked, leaving a business card. Think about it. That night, De Niro sat alone in the deli, the lights dim, a glass of red wine untouched. The card sat on the counter, taunting him. Selling would be easy. Retire, walk away, let the chain take over. But this was his legacy, flaws and all. And now it was Maria's, Joey's, Carlos's. He crumpled the card. The turning point came unexpectedly. A local blogger, a 70-year-old retiree named Sal, posted about the deli on X. His account small, but influential among Little Italy's older crowd. De Niro's ain't perfect, he wrote, but it's real. Bobby apologized, listened, changed. Pacino's there, eating with us, not above us. This is our place. Substop's got no soul. The post went viral, shared by locals, then picked up by a news outlet. A TV crew showed up, filming Maria's smile, Joey's hustle, De Niro's gruff charm. The deli roared back to life. Regulars returned, bringing friends. A jazz trio played on Fridays, the music spilling onto the street. Pacino, ever the showman, read poetry one night, his voice filling the room with Dog Day afternoon intensity. De Niro watched, a rare grin on his face. But challenges lingered. The books were still tight, and Substop wasn't giving up. One evening, as the staff cleaned up, Maria approached De Niro. Bobby, we're doing good, but we gotta think bigger. A fundraiser maybe. Get the neighborhood involved. Show 'em we're here to stay. De Niro nodded, the idea taking root. Pacino, overhearing, chimed in. Call it Save the Deli. I'll get some old co-stars down here. Make it a party. The plan took shape, a block party, food, music, a chance to rally Little Italy around his heart. But as the date approached, a new problem emerged. Ascendant, a server, Tina, revealed she was undocumented, her fear of deportation weighing heavy. De Niro, learning this, faced a choice: protect his team or stay silent in a city divided by politics. The deli's future hung in the balance, its spirit stronger, but its survival uncertain. De Niro and Pacino, two legends, stood side by side, their friendship a quiet strength. The block party loomed, a chance to save their home or lose it to the chain's shadow. Mulberry Street was alive with anticipation. It was a crisp Saturday in early December 2024, and Little Italy buzzed with the promise of the Save the Deli block party. Strings of white lights crisscrossed above the street, casting a warm glow on the cobblestones. Tables lined the sidewalk, laden with trays of De Niro's deli lasagna meatball subs and cannoli dusted with powdered sugar. The air carried the rich scent of garlic and basil, mingling with the sharp bite of winter. A jazz trio warmed up, their saxophone notes drifting through the crowd. Banners fluttered, proclaiming Save Our Deli in bold red letters. Robert De Niro stood at the heart of it, his white apron swapped for a dark blazer, his eyes scanning the growing crowd. At 81, he felt the weight of every year, decades of films, fights, and now this deli, his stubborn anchor. The block party was a gamble, a last stand to rally Little Italy against the looming threat of Substop, the chain sandwich shop poised to swallow his legacy. But it was more than that. It was about Maria, Joey, Carlos, and Tina, the staff who'd become family. It was about Al Pacino, his friend, who'd stood by him when pride nearly tore it all apart. Pacino, 84, was in his element, working the crowd like it was a Broadway stage. His wool coat hung loose, his voice carrying the gravelly charm of Serpico. "You want real food, real people? This is it," he called, handing out plates to wide-eyed locals. He'd called in favors, bringing old co-stars, Joe Pesci cracking jokes, Diane Keaton chatting with regulars. Their presence drew cameras, ex-posts lighting up with hashtag #SaveTheDeli. Maria, now front-of-house manager, orchestrated the chaos with quiet grace. At 60, her knees still ached, but pride straightened her spine. She directed volunteers, her warm smile a beacon for the neighborhood's older crowd, who remembered the deli's glory days. Joey, the young cashier, hustled alongside her, his confidence growing under her mentorship. Carlos, the cook, manned the lasagna station, his recipe a hit, the aluminum trays emptying fast. But beneath the festive surface, tension simmered. Tina, the server who'd confided her undocumented status to De Niro, moved cautiously, her eyes darting to the crowd. She'd worked at the deli for 2 years, her quick wit and steady hands a quiet asset. Now, with ICE raids rumored in the city, her fear was palpable. De Niro had promised to protect her, but how? The deli was already stretched thin, and taking a stand could alienate customers in a politically divided neighborhood. As the sun dipped, the crowd swelled, hundreds of locals, young families, retirees, even a few sub-stop employees sneaking bites of lasagna. A local news van parked nearby, its reporter interviewing Sal, the 70-year-old blogger whose viral ex-post had sparked the deli's comeback. "This ain't just a deli," Sal told the camera, his Mets cap tilted. "It's us. Our history. De Niro and Pacino get that." De Niro watched from a folding chair, a coffee in hand, Pacino at his side. "You think this'll work, Al?" he asked, voice low. Pacino shrugged, a glint in his eye. "It's working already. Look at M. They're here for you, Bobby. For this." De Niro grunted, unconvinced. Sub-Stop's manager, Greg, had sent another offer that morning. Buy the deli, keep the name, turn it into a franchise. Easy money. De Niro had torn it up, but the numbers gnawed at him. Rent was due, the espresso machine was on its last legs, and winter was slow. The block party had to be more than a feel-good moment. It had to save them. The night took a turn when the jazz trio paused, and Maria stepped to the microphone. The crowd hushed, sensing her gravitas. "Folks, thank you for coming," she said, her voice steady but warm. "This deli's been my home for 15 years. It's where I raised my kids, paid my bills, made friends. But it's more than that. It's where we come together, Italian, Irish, Puerto Rican, everybody. We're fighting to keep alive, not just for us, but for you." The crowd cheered, clapping for Maria, for the deli. De Niro felt a lump in his throat. Pacino nudged him. "She's better than you at this." But then Maria's tone shifted, softer, urgent. There's something else. One of our own, Tina. She's part of this family. She's worked hard, never complained. But she's scared, 'cause she don't have papers. We're standing by her, 'cause that's what this place is about. Taking care of each other. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Some nodded, others whispered. A few shifted uncomfortably. Tina, standing behind a table, froze, her eyes wide. De Niro's heart sank. Maria hadn't warned him she'd say this. Pacino's hand gripped his shoulder. Let it play out, Bobby. A man in a flannel jacket, a regular named Frank, spoke up, his voice loud. Maria, I love this place, but that's a big ask. You know how folks feel about that stuff. Maria didn't flinch. I know, Frank. But Tina's not that stuff. She's the one who remembers your order, extra peppers, no onions. She's us. Frank hesitated, then nodded, sitting down. A woman, a retiree with a thick Brooklyn accent, stood. My parents came here with nothing. If Tina's working hard, she's got my vote. Applause followed, tentative at first, then stronger. De Niro stood, his presence commanding silence. Tina stays, he said, his voice rough but firm. She's family. Anyone got a problem, you talk to me. Or you eat somewhere else. The crowd erupted, cheers drowning out the few grumbles. Tina's eyes glistened, and Maria hugged her, whispering, You're okay, girl. Pacino clapped, his grin wide. That's my Bobby. The block party became a turning point. Donations poured in, $10 from a kid's piggy bank, $500 from a local lawyer, thousands from an anonymous donor. The news segment aired, framing the deli as a symbol of community resilience. Tina's story, a quiet undercurrent. X posts multiplied, with hashtag Save the Deli trending alongside photos of De Niro serving lasagna, Pacino laughing with kids, Maria leading the charge. Sub-stops shine dulled. Locals picketed their opening, chanting Keep it real, eat at De Niro's. Greg's next offer was lower, desperate. De Niro didn't bother responding. Inside the deli, changes took root. Maria hired 2 new servers, easing the schedule. Joey, now assistant manager, streamlined orders, cutting wait times. Carlos's lasagna became a menu staple, drawing crowds. Tina, bolstered by the neighborhood support, worked openly, her fear easing, though De Niro quietly connected her with a pro bono immigration lawyer, just in case. The books weren't perfect, but they were better. A local bank offered a small loan, swayed by the deli's revival. The espresso machine was replaced, its first shot poured for Sal, who toasted, to Little Italy soul. One quiet evening, as snow dusted Mulberry Street, De Niro and Pacino sat in a booth, the deli empty save for Maria counting receipts. The walls, still lined with Goodfellas and Scarface posters, felt warmer, lived in. A Christmas tree twinkled in the corner, strung with ornaments from regulars. You were right, Al, De Niro said, sipping wine. I was holding on too tight. Almost lost it all. Pacino chuckled, his eyes crinkling. You're a stubborn bastard, Bobby. But you got heart. That's why this worked. Maria joined them, sliding into the booth. We're up 30% from last month. Might even afford that new oven Carlos wants. De Niro nodded, a rare smile breaking through. You're running this place better than me, Maria. She laughed. Don't get soft on me, boss. The bell jingled, and Tina walked in, off her shift. She hesitated, then spoke. Thank you. All of you. I didn't think I'd ever feel safe here. Pacino raised his glass. To family. They clinked, wine, coffee, water. A quiet toast to a deli that was more than a business. It was a home, imperfect, scrappy, alive. The deli thrived, not without struggles. Winter was slow, and Sub-Stop lingered, a reminder of the fight. But Little Italy rallied, the deli's tables full of laughter, arguments, life. De Niro and Pacino, 2 legends, became fixtures, their friendship a quiet testament to second chances. Maria led with strength, Joey with promise, Tina with courage. One spring day, a kid scrawled on the chalkboard menu, "De Niro's Deli," where everybody knows your name. It stayed there, a truth etched in chalk, a hope that even small steps, apologies, conversations, stands, could change everything. The story wasn't over. Bills would come, challenges would rise. But as the saxophone played on Mulberry Street, the deli stood, a beacon of what community could be, its heart beating strong.